Hi everyone, welcome to your session today. We are going to conduct. So this is an interesting theme I have chosen on how to review your internship midterm, and I think that some of you may be interning right now, and having a sort of periodic recap of an internship is very important because you start your internship uh, being very excited, and sometimes things don't go as planned, so there may be a lull in the middle. Okay, that's the background that I have in my mind, and that's the reason why I'm doing this. And also another objective for the session is, so one is to keep the energy up in the internship so that you are focusing on the outcome you want. Okay, and the second is that to take care of what pitfalls you can fall into, other pitfalls that may be arising in the course of your internship, and identifying how can you ensure that this internship is going to give you rich results in future. So I'll share from my internship experiences as well over the course of this session. But for now, would you all like to uh, share what you are doing currently? How many of you are currently interning? How many of you are not interning? If yes, you can share the name of the organization or at least the type of work. Like, is it a corporate law firm, litigation firm, working with interning under a lawyer, or another kind of organization, interning at an NGO? Where are you actually currently there? And then I'm going to share my experiences as well, and we're going to look at how you can make the most of your internship. So that's the agenda. Okay, if you are not interning, if most of you are not interning anywhere at the moment, then we are going to look at what to do when you're not interning. So the question is open for all of you, and I'd really like to know what is the state that that you are in currently. Are you interning? Are you not interning? What's the scene? Okay, Charlie is interning. All of you, I want to know how many of you are interning. Say yes. How many of you are not interning anywhere? Uh, Say not interning anywhere. Okay, and if some of you have completed your internship, say completed your internship, because that's when we can balance the conversation to include people in all these phases. Okay, Aarti has not received any conversation from any company. Got it. Any confirmation from any company. Okay, Lingaraj, you've raised your hand. Please share. I'm waiting for responses from the rest of you. You can, are you all on phones? You're not even on phones. Then you can just type it. Type quickly, okay? We want to progress to the next part of the session. Okay, and I'm going to share an experience I had, okay? Um, we can start with, let's say, my first year internship, which was at an NGO. I had interned at HRLN. Uh, we got a ton of exposure and materials to read. But what happened was that I did not over time realize that how can this translate into a long-term career option. For me, this was like an internship I am performing for the college curriculum and to meet the requirements of what college has on offer. Okay, so that was my first year internship. My second year internship was, one was at trial courts. I was interning in the litigation team at a law firm. Okay, and the second one was a Supreme Court internship. Now, in each of these internships, what would happen was that I would get a lot of files to read. In the trial court, in the law firm internship, where I was traveling through, visiting different kinds of courts, not just trial courts, but also consumer forums, DRT, all of these. There it was very exciting because I was being briefed of the matters and I was getting familiar with how different forums go about their procedure. But again, this was definitely an observer's perspective. It could not get very detailed. Now, the thing is that the first real internship, then in the third year, I interned uh, at a corporate law firm in their real estate team. Now, in their real estate team, you wouldn't know whether they're going to be hiring or whether they're not going to be hiring, because most of the hiring is in the corporate team. And I was very interested in, like, I want to be getting a PPO early, so I used to try to work really hard. But what used to happen is that the client would that I would be briefed by the associate or the senior associate, and I used to be told what I need to do. But I would most of my assignments were in the form of preparing a memo and I or a note, research note, and this was what the associate really wanted. But I would not get a picture of what the client wants. So this became a big gap for me. Now, in my next internship, which was in a corporate law firm in the corporate team, I was looking at banking and finance work. There I was actually getting access to client emails, templates of different kinds of agreements. Okay, and I used to work really hard there. But I realized that I used to work hard. I used to get in time, and then I used to leave late. But I was getting a reputation, as my senior used to call me, a scamster, out of just making some jest, making fun. And he was happy that I was committed, but he knew that somewhere I was cutting corners, and I did not know how completing assignments looked like. And I had picked up this habit of just doing like 90-95% of the work but missing out on the last 5%. So because now if a senior gives me work, I am his intern, I should complete the work so that it can be sent out. And he used to find that there are gaps that I could have filled in which I didn't, and which I left for him. So to that extent, he didn't like it. And later on I got very good reviews from the partner. That's what he told me also. But still, this was the gap that was there for my internships. Now, when I was sitting at the end of my fifth year for my interviews, it was these internships that had counted. The last internship only that I did on corporate law, because there were very specific debt finance related questions that were asked to me in my interview, which I could answer, and that became the deciding factor for me getting the job. Okay, in a corporate law firm. Now, the question for you is that so you have to start now. I'm going to do a short rapid fire, and I'm going to ask you that how many of you have like gotten assignments to work on, and are you in a position to verbalize the assignment you've got? Okay. So first question. Okay, we're going to do a rapid fire question session. Um, what is the first question is, what is the experience of the senior you're working with? Are you working with somebody who's less than 2 years experience or more? Okay. Second question, how many people you're working with? Two seniors or less? Okay. Third question is, verbalize any one assignment that you've done so far. Verbalize meaning write what you've worked on. Okay. The reason is we want to ensure that there is maximum value for the entry that you write in your CV. So now, because you're in the middle of an internship, you have the opportunity to customize it or to take it a notch higher. And we're going to look at that, because the pain point here is that people end up going through internships and not realizing what they really worked on, how they can use it. Other than understanding whether the firm they are interning in, or whether the senior they're working with is a brand or not, they do not have other takeaways. Now, whether you work with a brand or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is the skills that you've got there. So we got to practice this right now, that in the midterm, how do you figure out what skills you have? Aarti, I think you're studying one of our courses. What you can do is just share your CV with me, and I'll guide you on how to apply and what to do so that you get a response. Okay. And you can still share here how have you applied, have you written the exercises you've performed, have you written that in your CV? I've seen many, even in our course, many of the students are not writing exactly what assignments they did, and you're not writing about the articles you published. You publish 5 articles but you write only 1 or 2. So if any of that is happening, just let me know what process you followed for applying. You can let me know here also on a message. Sally started 2 days back working on trademark infringement, working under the partner. Okay, great, Sally. Now, what you want to know? Okay, Sally, your example is excellent. I'm going to work on deepening this, but I want to have other people verbalize this and share what they have worked on. So we're going to build a few deeper questions, like how do you think, Sally, you can use this in, let's say, an application to Anand and Anand, or Sai Krishna and Associates, or any other top level firm, or any, like even a tier 2 firm, any firm. Okay, it doesn't matter what level the firm is in, but any other place other than Ductus Legal, other than your partner who knows what you're working on, how will you tell others about what you worked on? Gaurav started interning under a senior counsel in Mumbai. There are 6 juniors under him. They are assisting senior counsel. Not frequently, they are many times they're free. In that case, how to ask for work? Excellent. So, what are the matters that are happening, Gaurav? This is original jurisdiction, appellate jurisdiction, IP, commercial, arbitration, IBC. What is the civil suits? What is happening there? So you need to be able to say that you really need to take the work away from them. Okay, it can be possible that because you've been working with them, resignation can set in very quickly. So what you need to do is you can say that, okay, great, original suit, arbitration, and IP and RERA work. So um, ask them what are the cases they need to prepare on based on their calendar. Check their calendar out, see the list of dates that are coming up and the forums, and ask them which of these do you need help in and where. And I'm going to prepare accordingly. You might take 3 days or 4 days or 2 days to prepare, but at least prepare for the next week's set of hearings. And ask your senior that what can I do for you? Do I need to complete a filing? Can I give you a brief of a note? Can I give you a case research for this? Okay, can I format this document? All right. So that's what you need to do, Gaurav. If you say give me work, they will want to decide. They need to decide what kind of work to give you. It's challenging, to figure out what you can do for them. It's best you say, okay, hey, why don't we just chat over like a smoke break or something, and you just tell me what are the important forums you're going to next week, and today is Thursday, or tomorrow will be Friday, and I'll just prepare and I'll tell you what I can do for each of these. And you ask him a question, okay, where can I help you on this? Where can I help you on this? Is everything ready? Can I do something? So you are basically leading the questions, okay? And then your senior will identify something relevant that you can do. Okay, that's a great participative way to take off the load off his head to give you work. Preet, does that help, Gaurav and Shali? You need to revert back. Okay, you will focus on the technical part. I will read the precedents. Are Baba, what is the state on in which your trademark infringement matter is? Have you filed the suit? Have you not filed the suit? Are you collecting evidence? What are you doing currently? What stage is the suit in? Is this a conventional trademark, non-conventional trademark? Okay, you have to see that. If you say you worked on trademark infringement, it doesn't tell anyone. And so many people with even 5-6 years of experience nowadays, they are like, we worked on trademark infringement. Does it mean that you can lead the infringement case for a client? Because that's what people want, right? Like as a litigator, you can do infringement, you can conduct infringement proceedings end to end. For whom? For either a defendant or the claimant. You need to have that much level of depth. So Shali, think now of what matter you're working on. You don't need to exactly tell me. Think whether there is a registered trademark, conventional trademark, non-conventional trademark. Uh, think about territorial jurisdiction. Think about whether the plaint is filed or not, where it's filed, the suit is filed or not, where it's filed. Think about the remedies. Think about how it's quantified. Okay, now these are the issues that you will be using in any other place where they want an IP lawyer. Shali, do you get it? The difference you see? Precedents, see, it's very vague. Yeah, what judgments will you read? There's one criterion for there's one section which says what infringement is, and it says then what are the reliefs you can get. Now the trick comes that on evidence, the trick is about quantification of damages or other reliefs. Those are the things you want to get into every single part and then figure out, okay, what are the challenges here? You don't necessarily need to ask, you will come to know, because you will see there are gaps in case laws. You will see where the work is fact specific. If you just look at precedent, you will go into analysis of law alone. You will not look at how the whole case strategy is playing out. You will not look at where the matter is fact dependent. You will not see where facts are relevant. You will not see how, because of the factual constraints, the case has to go in a certain way. Following that, Shali? Preet Kiran, you started internship at NGT and you've given a research topic to work on, and you have to witness the proceedings. As a intern at a tribunal, you are not interning with a practitioner. It seems you're interning under a member of the tribunal. If that's what you're doing, then then you will have to research on the topic that you've been given, but you can do something else. You can also come up with new topics which you want to write on the side, and you can take guidance. So you could think of this: what does an in-house counsel need to know about NGT when he's working for a company? Which kind of companies need to have in-house counsels who are familiar with NGT? Think of industry sector, manufacturing, infrastructure, this, that. Okay. Now, what kind of matters are coming? Okay, you will have full access to all files. You may not have access to meetings, you will have access to public case files. See what kind of matters are coming. What kind of orders were passed? Okay, there was an injunction. What was the injunction for? Uh, Constructing further or clearing forest land? What? Okay, so you will actually get this. Now, this is, in law, the language could be like pass any orders that may be considered fate or restrain activity. But this specific type of injunction which is being issued is because the prayer demands that. Where lawyers falter is often in the prayer. You may write pass any other orders, but when you're speaking, you need to claim that, right? You even ideally need to draft the specific prayer you want. Otherwise, it can be dismissed. In a civil suit, it will be dismissed. In a tribunal, sometimes they may accept additional prayers. Now, what you want to know is exactly how does commercial activity get impacted by this, because then you can be doing the work of an in-house counsel. Preet Kiran, do you get it? Do respond, okay? Okay. Mohit, your internship ended 2 days back and you interned in the office of an independent litigator, standing senior counsel for Union of India in AFT. You researched on legal points and he taught you CRPC and how to draft counter affidavits, but you couldn't draft a counter affidavit, okay? Ask him for what was filed. Once it gets done, got to experience, and do visit him again, okay? Later, maybe in a month or two. Got to experience how a litigation officer manages the admin work. Okay, great. And you should write on this. You want leverage, right? In future, if another lawyer you apply to work under wants, and any junior should be friendly with the administrative work. So this is one brownie point. Okay, if you write an article and publish on this, lawyers will be like, wow, you understand this in so much depth. That's interesting, because every lawyer has pulled his hair apart trying to figure this out and trying to troubleshoot this. Made case briefs. Okay, attended hearings. So see, case briefs are like summaries, right? And you did attended hearings. Now, if you want to work in the armed forces, this area, this is great. But if you want to use something in CRPC or counter affidavits, you can say, okay, how do you go about drafting a counter affidavit? You couldn't complete the drafting, I understand that, but still you may have learned something. When you learned about CRPC, what's important is what's the work you can do for either client, defendant or prosecution. Okay. You could also say, what does somebody who needs to work in an armed forces tribunal need to know? How can a regular criminal lawyer do an armed force tribunal matter? What does he need to know? So Mohit, why am I saying that you should write on these things? Because you can, the work you do, you need to identify ways in which it can be used for multiple purposes over and over again. How can it be everlasting? How can other people benefit from it? How can people know you for what you did? Your work is over and it happened in the past. But there are some learnings, if you think of deeply, you can extract and you can keep benefiting from them again and again and again. Okay, and you might want to deepen this learning for all you know. You might want to learn more about armed forces tribunal related work. Right? And when you attended the hearings, would you be able to document the procedure? How did it work? Now, don't go to the rules alone and say, this is the AFT regulations, this is how it happens. Make it intuitive. How can people follow it? How can a criminal litigator with 4 years of experience who's getting his first case in armed forces tribunal, how can he read your article and benefit? Think about that, Mohit. Great, Mohit. So, did you follow the remaining feedback? Preeti, I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what internship you should involve. See, I think you should be familiar with the armed forces law. So I think an armed forces tribunal internship can be good. One is the book part that you need to know, the theory you need to know properly for the exam, but having a sense of the practical work is important. So I think what Mohit did, I think that kind of an internship can be good for you. Okay, Preeti, I do not know more about it, but I will check up and maybe come back. You can WhatsApp me and then I'll respond, because otherwise I'll forget where to respond. So you just WhatsApp me, I will look up and tell you. Yeah, Aarti, so this will be a great opportunity for you to get your mistakes fixed. Okay. You can send it to me. I can guide you on some mistakes, and I will also point somebody who can guide you on getting these published. I can point out broad mistakes to you, and you can fix it and then get it published. But imagine, okay, if there are 5 articles, you immediately get published. You'll start getting responses. Do you think so? Do you think you'll get responses if you publish those 5 articles or 4 articles? I don't know how many you've written. I just took a random number, but tell me. Yeah, the point is that you should become a good writer. Okay. Okay, you've written two, but write more and get everything published. So this tendency, will show up in your internship also. You will do incomplete work. And incomplete work means what? Like I've had interns who've done, like if I give, I've given video editing work earlier. I'd give a video editing work to somebody. He was really good, fast with it, but he'd make mistakes and he'd not apply his mind. Then I would keep giving him twice or thrice, and he never improved over the course of the internship. What happened? I did not give him the work again. He was super talented, but he didn't do the work properly. So this is something you want to watch out for. And for you, what do you think it's proper? A senior in a law firm will want 10 times more level of diligence. So always do the extra level. I'm not saying be nervous or be afraid. Don't panic. Don't be nervous, because nervousness doesn't let you do your best work. But definitely check your work once or twice if needed. Okay, thanks for your response, Mohit. Definitely do contribute to participants. Preeti, I hope you find Mohit's input useful. Shandan, you want to work in transactions on M&A, and you should you intern under an NCLAT in CLT litigators before law firms eventually? Would that be of any help? Most of the M&As are transactional. Okay, there are fewer M&As that which are involving scheme of arrangements, and these are often within group companies. So NCLAT NCLT work is different. Yeah, that's corporate litigation a lot. There's IBC work, and NCLAT has competition appellate tribunal related matters, because COMPAT is abolished. So competition appeals go to NCLAT, NCLT appeals go to NCLAT. NCLT appeals meaning IBC appeals. Okay, and what else? Companies Act appeals. The Companies Act matters are scheme, operation and mismanagement related work, reduction of share capital, directors related, disqualification of directors, striking off of registers of company, all of that. So it will not, you'll get a picture of corporate litigation and you can use it for that, but there may not be too much leverage in mergers and acquisitions related work. But IBC work, many law firms want people to have insights, and that you can use. Anybody else? So the point of this conversation was twofold. One is that you should be able to identify takeaways from your work. So takeaways from your work means how to deepen it, and you want to use this internship in your CV, right? So when there are two parts, one is where you worked at, and second is what work you performed. Now, what work you performed is fluid. You have not given like a Bible oath or a Bhagavad Gita oath, that whatever oath, like no sacred oath that I will only say about the work that my senior gave me. That's not the point. The point is, what are the skills you have? What did you learn? What did you do? So you might have been given X work, but you might have learned X plus Y plus Z. Okay. And in a recruitment interview, what happens is that the senior usually never knows what to ask. So you can lead the way by saying that I think this is the kind of work that you must be doing. I've done this work earlier, or I've done this part of this work earlier. So this is what I know, and I can help you with that. Like, people write this line that I can be an asset. I want to be an asset to your firm. That's total crap unless you can say that I know that this is what you do. These are the skills I have, and this is how I can help you. If you can say that, anybody will take you in. So in your internship right now, the idea is to look at this. Okay. How will you look at this? The frame is look at what kind of work is being done, different stages of it. Also look at, what is the subjectivity involved. Like in particular cases, you'll see that a certain litigation strategy is being adopted. Why that and why not something else? A lot of times this is because of facts. Okay, so in a different set of facts, you might be doing something else. You should know that why this strategy is being adopted because of facts. You should not say that in that matter this happened. No. Why? What were the factual constraints in that matter because of which this strategy was used? For example, in a particular scenario, what you can have is that you can recover debt unpaid dues through IBC, but somebody may have invoked an MSMED arbitration. You will want to know why that was done and why the IBC was not used. Okay, so that's what I am talking about. Who else would like to ask or share inputs? So one is verbalizing the work. So do you want to try reverbalizing? and two ways to reverbalize. One is, so principle to follow: if you cannot verbalize it as a skill, so if you can't verbalize it, you don't know what you did. Honestly, that's what you want to follow right now. Okay. Second is that after you verbalize it, see what's the transferable skill that I got. If you don't know what the transferable skill is, that needs to be figured out by you. You can ask questions, ask anyone. You can even ask your senior that, hey, listen, I'm doing this. I don't know how to say about it, talk about it. Like, what is the value I'm adding? What is the deal I'm working on? I have no clue. How can I figure this out? Okay. So you should be able to identify after you verbalize what the transferable skill is. That's what you can do for someone else. Because after this internship, nobody will care about what you worked on. What they will care about is what you can do for them. Okay, so Shayantan, I hope your questions answered. Now, the next thing that we also discussed is that another way to check what you know is, can you write an article about it? Okay, and you could, okay, and not like this is my internship experience. No, if you figured out that, uh, let's say that you are working on a due diligence for a telecom related acquisition, and you would know, right, what are the documents you reviewed and stuff. If you reviewed only telecom, if you reviewed only like lease and license agreements, it doesn't matter, but or corporate lease agreements. But if you realize, okay, this one has towers and towers are built on land, and there is certain kind of different active and passive towers and different kinds of leases are entered into for that. Okay, so that is interesting. You can write on that. You can write on the telecom related aspects of the deal, and if you worked on only leave and license, you can still ask your senior, can you share this part of the report? How are we going about it? And maybe they talk about some trial licensing agreement. You can write about that agreement. Okay, so these are the unique superstar kind of things that you can actually display in your CV. These grab attention. These will make others shortlist. Some pitfalls to watch out for, and then we jump back into how to amplify the effect of the internship. Some pitfalls are you getting into a routine? Are you waiting for the internship to get over? If that's happening, you got to catch yourself that, okay, I'm trying to bail out. And a few months back, I was really excited. And after I go back to college, I would have wanted to brag about this, but now I'll not be able to brag about it. That means you need to go deeper. Don't bail out, dive in. Okay. Another thing is, are you piling up work and not completing it? You will come to know this very easily. If 2 weeks are over and you see how many matters I've been working on and have I given anything, the matter won't get over. Transactions or litigation can take time, but have I shipped anything which has been used? So shipment is important. Completing work, sending off your table to another person. Not key, I gave it to my senior, he didn't review it, the matter is still stuck. No, probably your work was shit. That's why it didn't get reviewed. So if that happens, then you get back, take it again and see that how can I fix it. Okay. So how much have you shipped? Then look at who are you working with. One person, very junior, or more people. Is that one person willing to introduce you to others, to take work from others? Is he willing to go out there and support you? Is there anyone else also you can work with? Explore that. Okay. It's not just that you work under a partner. No, there's no blind rule like that. You can work under an SA, under a PA, whatever. Okay. Your goal has to be right now. Everybody will not necessarily aim for a PPO. Okay. In your third year, you will not get a PPO. You can have a memorable internship, focus on that, focus on opening other opportunities, getting leads to other places, and focus on getting a call back, or at least a relationship where if you apply again, then you will be given one. Okay. So organizations value loyalty. If you apply again, they will be inclined to give you an internship. And if you have got good internal feedback. Okay. How to perform additional research on internship assignments is an area I wanted to discuss. So I think Shahali's example was perfect on trademark infringement. She said, I will do precedent related work. And I said that, no, okay, stop there, break it down into types of the stages at which you will deal with this matter, the drafts that will be required, the limitations because of facts, and then look at the law. If you go about it like this, then you will need to do additional research. You will not just read the case. So So it's an oversimplification when someone says read case. Actually, what they mean is you need to go back and re-visualize the history of what happened. Okay. Like all those movies where, PK that all the people from that alien planet would come, and if Amir Khan would touch someone, he would completely understand their mental state, their background, experiences, all of that. That's what you want to do when you read a file. But that doesn't happen because you don't know the law, so you just read some random technical document. So that's not the outcome that you're looking at. So now this is the work you can perform. So you're waiting for a senior's review, or you don't know how to go about an assignment, how to give that draft. Don't be in a hurry. Read, learn, and do it. Break the project down. See, somebody, your senior, who's been working on projects for years will apply 20, 30 skills together. Okay, but you may need to break it down, build one skill after another. It will take you more time. When you're confused, then just break it down, do the work bit by bit. You will get there. Okay, but don't give bad work uh, without a heads up to the other person. Okay, you say that I don't know this. You put a placeholder. I don't know how this concept works. So this part I do not know, but I've done this. Okay, now how many of you the internship has gone into a rut? A rut means like there's been monotony, you are unhappy, or you're just passing time, you're killing time, you're not excited anymore. Shantan, if you aim to be a transactions lawyer, what kind of internship will be useful to build a desirable background before you start interning at a law firm? Before you start interning at a law firm, the interesting part is you can work with a startup. That's an internship that will count, because when you talk to a law firm, the kind of visibility of different matters you will get in this regard will be very high. Okay, so when you work with then when you share those experiences with someone working at a law firm, they will know that you've got a good sense of things. And for a startup, this Ramuj also says very regularly, for a startup, you're their lawyer. So you got to do it. Okay. So they will not consider you to be a young intern. But Shayantan, why are you not applying to law firms also directly? So I consider applying to startups as good a strategy or a better strategy actually. But still, I want to know, why do you first want to intern somewhere else before applying to a law firm? That's my question to you. What about the rest of you? Okay, so let's take a small step back and review that what are our learnings and takeaways for now. Okay, let's review this and also discuss what do we want the next half of our conversation to be on. We've got about 20-25 minutes. So what do we want to discuss now? I specifically had a midterm review because I felt that if this was there for my internship, I might have been able to turn around some of my internships into more exciting internships. Shantan, no, you can intern in a small law firm, but I think actually start by interning in a startup for some time. You will like the experience. But be prepared, okay? With the startup, you will get work to do directly. Like imagine you're an unpaid law firm partner. Okay? And you want to, the payment is not important. That exposure, being in that situation and dealing with that risk, being responsible for the outcome and completing your work. That's why it's important. So, are there any takeaways for you all so far, or like I just want to know some feedback from you. How's it going? What are you finding in this session? And also, please share what should be what do you want to discuss now? We've got a little bit of time. I'm waiting. Okay, so do type and share. What are the opportunities and do share takeaways also. If there are none, let me know that also. What are the opportunities for young lawyers at district and sessions courts through the city having lots of business and industries, which requires some corporate and company law work? I'm in my second year of law school. Which industries and business are you talking about? So a lot of work has gone to tribunals. A lot of commercial matters have moved to tribunals, but these are also like courts, so you might want to consider moving there. Okay, district and sessions court may you can have like IP infringement suits may come there, unless the high court has original jurisdiction. Arbitration enforcement decrees come to a district court unless the high court there has original jurisdiction, which is rare. Okay, most of the time it goes to a district court. Okay, yeah, if you want to, so you should work for commercial litigation. I'll tell you what is important: arbitration work and NCLT work and debt recovery tribunal work. These are the three major sets of places you need to go to. In If you are doing district and sessions court work, you need to find out see the cause list and see what are the commercial matters they're doing. If that's promising, you can learn that. Otherwise, you can learn regular litigation work also. People need help with that. It is valuable. It's going to always matter. I'll tell you that law firms, like the way our legal education system is, we don't learn practical skills in college. So what happens is that if you get recruited in a law firm, you will not have any other experience of litigation other than what you did in your internship. 7-8 years down the line, you might realize that you worked on a private equity transaction back in your third year, which in your seventh or eighth year it has gone to litigation. Okay, and then you don't know how court proceedings work. So that's where these things may be very helpful. So even if you decide not to litigate, you need to have a sense of litigation. Mohammed, Arham, is it making sense? Should I call you Arham or Mohammed? Okay, is this making sense? Just let me know, okay? And look at this, there is a lot of, like, if you are, let's say, in a place where mining industry is there will be specific matters on that. Just go through the act, you will see there are matters around it. And there are, in general, outside the statute also, regular litigation matters, claims for compensation. So talk to a lawyer who represents companies and see what are you defending companies for. Okay, there could be employment cases, there could be contract breach cases, damages cases. These are the regular commercial civil suits. Okay, does it make sense? Lakshmi, you feel like if you had this discussion earlier, you may have made much more good internships. It can happen now. Mohit, you were confused as to how to write the experience. Now everything is clear. Okay, Arham, I'll call you. All right, thanks. Okay. Will any digital marketing course help a law student? Yeah, sure. Please do it. So I'll tell you what is the issue. Why people do that course is that I want a digital marketing job. Now, you may not want that. What you want to know is you understand digital marketing. Okay. And do it for something. Maybe do it for your own personal profile. Take some part-time assignments for people who want this work done for them. Maybe a litigator needs it. Who will need it? Think about it. Okay. Who will need it? Maybe a 2-year experienced litigator may want it. Try doing this work for them. So you use your learning to build that litigator's profile and credibility. Okay, so that you learn how to do this work. So lawyers don't know how to do keyword research. Whenever we work with them, one is the scientific way of doing keyword research, and the other is also to do it intuitively. Add some intuition onto it. Don't do blind, stupid numbers based or just a research tool used to research. You have to do more advanced stuff. So how do you do that? If you can do that for lawyers and tell them that if you do this, this will enable you to build a better brand, that will be great. Now, honestly, some people pay for this, some people don't. Some people want it for free, some people don't even see sense in that. If that happens, do it for yourself. Do this digital marketing for yourself. But I think personally, this is going to matter in the years to come. Okay. I think lawyers should know how to brand themselves, how to do digital marketing, how to sell. They should know how to create video, how to ship it, like edit it if needed, all of that. And lawyers don't. What else? Okay, so where do we want to take it from here? 15 minutes. What do we want to discuss? Okay, let's discuss how to what note to end the internship on, right? So you must make sure you've worked with maybe 3 or 4 people till the internship is over. They should have good things to say about you in terms that you should have done the work that was given to them. Take their feedback and ask them to be critical. Ask them, how can I do better? Don't give me good feedback. Give me bad. Give me the real feedback. Okay. Compare me with the people who've been here before. Who was the best intern? Who was the worst intern? You ask them this so that you understand. Or ask them, what do you expect from an intern? No. Ask them, what do you expect from an associate you hire? I know you're not hiring, but what do you expect? If you had given this to an A0 or A1, what would you have expected? Ask them this. Okay. Then ask them, can I come back if I need to or if I want to? Would you be able to put in a word if I want to come back here? Ask them, could you suggest where I should go next? I'm really interested in so and so area. It could be the same area you're working on or something else. Because everybody who's working in these organizations has somebody who's in their network, who's close to them, who's doing something different. So even if you intern in a corporate law firm and you decide, no, I want to do technology law work, and this corporate law firm didn't have a technology team by chance, you ask your senior that, is there any person you know who does technology law? Can you refer them to me? Or can you refer me to them? Okay, or can you suggest me a name? Okay, you can ask them this, that, if I write an article on some of the issues I worked on, would you be willing to give me some feedback, please? Okay, and then you can ask them, can I help you part-time personally? You don't need to give me a certificate from the firm because I'm not the firm's intern, but can I help you with any personal law related project? Or maybe you need a book published or something. Can I help you with something on that? Okay. If Charlie has done her digital marketing course, she can say, can I help you with some digital marketing work? Can I sit with your PR team and see what they're doing? Maybe I could contribute. Various things. Okay. So what you want to do is open up avenues for future engagement. You may not use them. So you don't need to promise anything, but you need to ask and you need to offer, so that offer not directly, I'll come back. You say, if I apply again, would the firm be willing to consider me? Can I sort of use your reference? That kind of thing. And then you say, if you're still working here, of course, then can I still use your reference? You have to open enough, you have to open opportunities for further engagement. That's the best thing that you can use. Okay. And what else? How to close? Yeah, and try to identify 4 such skills, like what I gave example to Charlie or Mohit. I gave example on 1. If you have 4 such skills from an internship, that's good. And keep in mind that interviewers don't know what to ask you. You got to lead it. So don't wait. You don't have to wait for interviewers to ask you a question. Now, when you're interning, you will write your CV like that. That in a future interview, okay, that's the perspective. If I use this skill in a future interview, or I write this line, what relevance will it hold? And how am I going to lead that conversation? So you can imagine, like, you're in second year, you're talking in your 4th year interview or 5th year interview to a law firm about this internship. What are you going to say about it? Design that now. Okay. And you will know that you've not done enough, or maybe it's not in the ideal way. So then fill in what are the gaps. Do the research you need to, make it wide enough, do all of that. And you can always tell in the interview that, sir, this is what I was given, but actually that's not the full industry perspective. I need to know this to be practicing as a lawyer on this issue. So this is the research I did on my own and I got it verified from others, and this is what I know. So this is the skill I have, even though I worked on a tiny part of the matter. That you can say. Okay. Okay, so I don't have anything else to discuss. I think I'll call it a day. If you have questions, then you ask me. Otherwise, we close the session and do suggest future topics to discuss. Last time we tried to discuss arbitration and IBC. The IBC one went pretty complicated, but arbitration one I found that you all had understood and benefited from it. So yeah, everybody, time to give a rating out of 10. You can rate this session. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and you can reach out to me on WhatsApp. That's the best. WhatsApp is easiest. This is my number. And see you and have a great week ahead. Session for about, I'll stay here for about 2 minutes. You can give me feedback. And you can say what else we can discuss in the upcoming week. And everyone's internships are getting over now. or you will still be interning by next week? I'm going to close the internship topic now. We'll start on something else. Okay, so maybe we'll talk about part-time work or something. Ramanuja has done one session on part-time work, but we can explore something like that. Please suggest other topics. All right, so see you next week. Bye. Cheers. Have a great time ahead.